Hey folks, Jonathan here. I wanted to do a little update on everything and show everybody where I was at and explain why I hadn't done as many videos as what I normally do. But been picking up a lot of wrecks, and here's one I picked up. And as you can see, it's totaled, I have no doubt. But just want to tell you something about this. Man got arrested drinking and driving, and he was drunk. But what really gets me, him and his wife came here just a little bit ago to get their personal belongings, which, you know, no problem. And we let people get their belongings anytime, whether it be day, night, you know, Sundays, and we don't have to, but you know, we do, because you never know what they've got, medicine, if they need their phone or something like that. But anyway, they got here just a little bit before I got outside here. They started cleaning it out, and when they went to leave, I guess before, I'm assuming they done this before I came out here. But, you know, he was drunk and this cooler was in there, and he just takes the cooler. I mean, evidently they just took the cooler out and slung it with all the beer in it and the box of beer and just left it lay on the ground here. And, you know, it's just unbelievable to me. You know, I understand that it's a wrecker service, and you know, there's a lot of junk cars sitting around here, but and here's some paper they just leave there. We have a lot of people that come here and clean cars out, and they just throw paper on the ground. They don't think nothing about it. But to sling your beer in your cooler and just leave it, I mean, you know, maybe he's blaming the beer for what he done, which, you know, some cans don't open themselves. But anyway, I've been really busy. I shouldn't be complaining, but picked up this Chevrolet the other night. Spent about 2 hours cleaning the mess up. This, evidently the guy that owned this does some plumbing work. So had a well, you can see the toolbox on the other side. There was a regular toolbox and just loads and loads and loads and loads of stuff that got slung out, and everything in the truck was out on the in the woods. I got the top tied down, but this thing, I didn't even know I had a toolbox. The toolbox was so far down in the woods I didn't see it till later, and the lid was about 40 feet away from it. So, but I took a heck of a ride, and don't know if he was sober or drunk, but it's tore up. And got a Mustang here. This is a 2015. I think this one's got the Coyote motors, what everybody keeps telling me, but this is one of them deals. The tags were illegal on it. You wouldn't think it would be. It's either 2015 or 16, but it's about a new car. But evidently they bought it, and there's a new deal here in North Carolina that you pay your taxes through your registration, and the tags, I won't show them to you because of the number, but the tags have got a T on them instead of a date. And I did not realize it, and you know, somebody had to explain it to me, but that T means you hadn't paid the taxes on it yet. And I think you've got like 3 months to pay the taxes, and then they'll send you the sticker with the date. And of course, evidently they didn't do it, so their tags got canceled and their insurance got canceled. And so now they owe all that money and no insurance. And you know, there was some lies being told of, you know, who wrecked it, and somebody got arrested for leaving the scene, and just a lot to it. So now we're going to see if I'm stuck with it or if the finance company is going to. I would think that it's probably still valued enough that the finance company will do repossession on it and get it. And a lot of people don't realize that repossession can be done for other reasons besides non-payment. If your car's put into a storage unit, and once we do our paperwork and the person gets the or the lien holder gets the paperwork, because it goes to anybody that's listed, you know, on the title. When the lien holder gets the paperwork, they realize, well, we're in fear of losing our car or losing our property. So that automatically gives them the right to repossess the car, even if the payments are not behind on it. So we'll just have to wait, because, you know, I've got no way of finding out what finance company or anything like that. So, you know, we just send our paper into the state, and the state handles that. Anyway, that's just a well, there's another one. Show you another wreck here I got. Expedition. I've gotten quite a few of these Explorers, but evidently they had pulled out on the highway, and this is a 4-lane highway, and the vehicle that was coming, which was a Dodge truck, didn't see him, and could have been texting or something. And you know, it was a 4-lane, so they could have got in the other lane, you know, even if the vehicle pulled out in front of them was going too slow. But hit him in the back, knocked him into the center median, and that caused, as you can see, the hitch to go bent down. Well, down in the bottom of the center median was a big steel grate, and of course the hitch had to get stuck in the steel grate, so that made it really fun to get out. And this ain't all of them. I've gotten quite a few more, but anyway, I want to show you where I was at on the engine and updates here. Okay, folks, I've got my engine taken back down. I've got the gears out of this and the gears out of the pocket valve at the heat treater, and going on and getting that taken care of. Ran into an issue, sort of messed up my nickel plating solution.
Well, how'd you do that, dummy?
I took 4 of these bolts out, and I cleaned the heads of them, and I took a jig that I had made and screwed them up in to where I could just sit the heads of the bolts into the solution. I cleaned the heads up really well, the sides of them, but I didn't clean the actual bolt up any. And when I put them in, I guess there must have been a lot of zinc. It must have been zinc coated. Anyway, I contaminated my nickel plating solution, and I tried everything I could try. I'd done some dummy plating, was what they call it when you just plate a regular steel, and I'd done quite a bit trying to get it cleaned up, and never did. So learned a good lesson, and we've got some new solution coming, so I can get back on plating some of this. This will be the final assembly. You know, with this, you know, everything should be fine. I am going to go ahead and plate this pipe, and we'll leave this pipe on for a while anyway, just because I want to see how well it does with the plating. Did learn my lesson on bolts. I will not plate another bolt or nut if it was zinc coated or galvanized or anything like that. And I'm pretty sure it was zinc coating on these, but anyway, did learn a good lesson, so I won't do that again.
Yeah, sure, we hear you.
All right, squirrel. I see you up there too. But anyway, the other thing, we're going to take this magneto off, and I wanted to show you what we're going to replace it with. Okay, this is a 300 watt generator, and which is not a lot, but it'll produce enough to keep us a battery charged. Not much bigger than the magneto, actually smaller. It's not quite as wide and not nearly as tall, but we're going to set this up in the same location, and I don't know if I'm going to run it 2 to 1 or if I'm going to run it 1 to 1 and have wasted spark. We'll decide on that. But basically what I'm going to do is build a points plate to go on this, and I'm going to make this into a sort of a magneto, or not a, you know, it's going to look like one, but when I'm done with it, it'll be a generator to be able to charge a battery, and we'll have regular points ignition, so that'll be a little more practical on this. And the reason I'm doing this, one reason is this wasn't real expensive. They use these on windmills and stuff like that. You know, it's not very big. It's pretty light. You know, 4 or 5 pounds, I guess, is most it weighs. And then this magneto, the coils need rewound on it, and then of course the magnets need recharged to make it, you know, correct to where it's good and dependable. And the price of that in comparison to putting this generator on it is a world of difference. And then if I use the generator, I can run some lights on it, on the bike, and at least a headlight, maybe a tail light or something. And you know, magneto, you can't really do that. Okay folks, and I plan on, I'm going to do one more engine with this engine block, and we're not going to have any valves in it or anything. I just wanted to show you basically what I'm going to do here so you understand. Same cylinder right here. We're going to run it sideways instead of running it, you know, this way. We'll run it just like this, and we can face our intake and exhaust, you know, forward and back still, as you can see. One goes this way and one goes this way. We're going to use this Chevrolet cam that I have done some machining on as a overhead cam, and we'll make everything we need for it to be able to make it adjustable, and we'll put some roller bearings on the end of the cam or something. But I'm going to use, like I said, the same engine block. I don't know whether I can actually bring the chain up close, or I can bring it on the outside. So we'll decide on that and figure it out. But we're going to get to work on that generator here soon. My gears I got to pick up next week, Monday, Tuesday, something like that, when they get them finished up. And like I said, they needed to be heat treated. If not, they're not going to last long. So mainly the bottom one, but the two top, you know, the original old brakes cam, we're going to check them for hardness. That's why I dropped them off too. Check them and see if they're as hard as they need to be. If not, they can work with it. But the reason I didn't harden them myself, the bottom gears were low carbon. They needed carbon added to them to make it hard, and so I decided to let somebody do it that knew what they were doing, so it would be right, because we're trying to build a permanent engine here, not just a temporary. So anyway, that's where we stand, and been doing some work in the house for my wife, honeydews, putting some tile down and stuff. So, you know, when I haven't been doing that, I've done a little bit out here, but not a whole lot. Now we're getting ready for the rat rod build. It's going to be next month, and like I said, that one's a little different. I won't be doing any updates on it. You'll just have to wait and see the actual build, and you'll totally understand why I'm doing what I'm doing and everything when the build, you know, videos come out. So anyway, I'm going to get back to work, and I appreciate everybody watching, and till next time, bye.
Bye.